Hey everybody, welcome back.
We're just gonna rip through. We did way too much on the Epstein files. Now we don't have time to cover the other stuff, so I'll just rip through it quickly. Yeah. Trump crashing out about the Gordie Howe Bridge. So, there are two bridges right now between Windsor and Detroit. They service all the traffic. There's millions of crossings basically a year.
A second.
Well, isn't it just one bridge, one tunnel?
Yeah, essentially. I guess. Well, I was counting one of the tunnel.
There's two road crossings. So there's automobile crossings. One is a bridge, one is a tunnel. Yeah. And there's also a rail tunnel.
So the car tunnel is co-owned by Michigan and Ontario. The bridge is privately owned by a Michigan company. The new bridge being built will be co-owned by Michigan and Canada again. This bridge was negotiated by Trudeau's government like 10 years... no, not Trudeau's government. Harper's government in 2011. The plan was Canada would buy American materials to make the bridge. We would pay 100% of the bill to construct it.
Yeah.
We would flush that cash basically into the American economy to build it too. Then, when it was done building, we would surrender 50% control to the state of Michigan for a bridge we built for them. But for the first 10 years of operation, we would receive 90% of the toll revenue to cover the cost of building it, and Michigan would receive 10%. Then, after 10 years was up, Michigan would get the full 50%, because they spent literally nothing to build this bridge, because in 2011, the state of Michigan was flat broke. They couldn't afford to build this bridge.
This is a true Canadian dream of, we are going to purchase up like real American production, and at the end, the way we will make money is through rent seeking.
Yeah. But also, this is like a golden deal for the United States, where they spent literally $0 on this thing.
For like a crazy new vital piece of international infrastructure.
That was desperately needed for the traffic flow.
Yeah.
Allegedly. I don't know. But that's what Harvard...
First of all, kill all drivers. Like, it's not needed, because we should pop all the tires. They can walk that shit.
So it was needed in the sense of like, one of the problems with traffic is that the old ass bridge that's owned by like this that was like this billionaire's family, it just dumps you straight into the middle of downtown Windsor, which is nice if you're gonna go. But like the thing is that if you're like a truck or one of those things, like those things that haul other cars, it's kind of not very
if you're trying to do anything but visit downtown Windsor, it's now a large speed bump.
Because you're basically driving in the middle of a urban area in like a transport truck, trying to get to the 401.
The sprawling megalopolis of Windsor.
Well, Windsor is part of a megalopolis, the Quebec-Windsor corridor.
But yeah, like driving in, even if Windsor's a small city, you're driving in any city.
In a semi-truck.
And a semi-truck's not fun. So this new bridge is supposed to connect the 401 to whatever Yankee Interstate in Michigan is. Yeah. So it's a lot easier for truck traffic to move.
Yes, it was for semi-truck traffic, essentially. Now, sounds like a great deal for the United States, right? Well, it is for the U.S. public. Yeah. Not so great a deal for Matthew Moron.
Yeah.
Moron.
Yeah. Son of the deceased former owner and builder.
Manuel Moron.
Yes.
Who built the original bridge that will have large amounts of traffic allegedly diverted to the new bridge.
Yeah.
Matthew Moron called up Trump a few days ago and asked him to cancel the Gordie Howe Bridge project, which is why Trump is now making this bridge his new bugbear, claiming that it is unfair to the United States that they basically don't get this bridge we built with our money for free, 100% for them.
So the only thing they had to pay for was like the U.S. customs area on the American side.
Yeah.
My question is, how the fuck did this happen? Because originally Trump was like, oh, everything Canada does is unfair. And he's managed to work his way down to specific contract details on one bridge. Which, who told him about this bridge? Which, it's one person must have done it.
It was
right?
Matthew Moron.
Yeah.
Yeah. As I just said.
Oh, I just blanked for... I thought we were just saying it was his...
No.
Project.
Matthew Moron literally called Trump and asked him to cancel this bridge.
Which
the moron family has spent $33 million since 2011 lobbying to get this bridge canceled. And it was, in the end, just a phone call to Trump.
I thought we were exaggerating. I thought we were joking.
No. So the thing is that at this point, I don't think Trump can really cancel it because this thing is like 99% done.
It's done. Yeah. It's finished already.
Yeah, like I think the only thing you can say is I'm not letting trucks roll over to the American side, but like
or to the he can close it, I guess.
Mm-hmm. But like okay, so like realistically, this fat moron's gonna forget about this shit in a month.
Yeah, leaving the actual moron holding the bag.
Yeah.
Do we think that he could hardly keep up anything for like countrywide Canada stuff? Do we really think he's going to keep it together for one specific contract on one bridge?
Trump is like unmedicated ADHD.
Yeah, he is.
He'll have this for 4 days.
I mean, really, he was just looking for... I think, honestly, Matthew Moron got lucky with this phone call because, I mean, he is a prolific Republican Party donor, so that's probably how he got on the phone with Trump.
Yeah.
But Trump was probably looking for something Canadian to crash out about because of the China pivot.
That's true. That's true.
Well, the thing is that I feel like that's kind of almost escaped his attention because it's been 2 weeks.
I think he still is resenting the China pivot. I think that has not lost his attention. He was looking for something.
You know what we need to do? We need to get China to host nuclear missiles in Alberta.
Speaking of Alberta, we're moving along. Alberta separatists asked for $500 billion from the United States.
For a long time, we've known that like all the Alberta oil dependency movement and stuff like that has been American made. Liam, you're foaming at the mouth. What's up?
We haven't talked about, or have we, how like it's been now pretty much proven that the Alberta separatist movement is in many ways a creature of the United States.
Well, you're gonna love this story.
Yeah.
So like, have we got into it yet? I can't remember what we did last time.
Not yet, but you're gonna like it in 2 paragraphs from now. So shout out to all the like oil stuff that was coming straight from America. And they started geotagging all the like Alberta strong Facebook groups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When Twitter started, or when X the Everything app started doing that,
Twitter.
And they were all American, Indian, and Israeli accounts.
Okay,
and the whole Alberta separationism movement is just kind of American, as it turns out.
Yeah.
They had a ton of meetings, even directly with Trump, I believe, and they had like secret room unrecorded meetings, including asking, as Bennett said, for a $500 billion line of credit.
Which is so funny, because this is not when the U.S. bought Alaska, which is like 3 times the size of Alberta, they paid the modern equivalent of $140 million US.
An absolute steal.
Yeah. Now they are spending, I think, per acre, probably 1,000, 10,000 times as much money to not buy it.
Yeah, this one is like, this is crazy because they're just kind of influencing a movement. They're trying to stoke the movement on and stuff like that. And that's like, we need to bail out the banks type money.
That's like avoiding the Great Depression style cash injection. To not buy Alberta.
For like a social movement that, like, don't get me wrong, is annoying as fuck, but probably isn't really.
It's not real. This isn't a real movement.
Yeah.
As you said, its fans are all like basically not to live out here, but foreign, like Russian bot accounts.
Yeah.
The thing is, it goes beyond the Facebook thing, though, because these Albertan separatists actually met with the CIA.
Yes.
They actually took meetings with the CIA and asked to their face for $500 billion.
Okay, wait. Was it the CIA or was it just like members of the Trump government?
It was both. They both met with members of the Trump government. Stephen Miller, who is not technically a cabinet member, and the State Department, in quotes, which is a euphemism for the CIA.
Yeah.
Also, like, specifically in rooms that are for ensuring that things are not recorded, don't get out, stuff like that.
Which is so... This crazy...
Imagine, like, Marco Rubio sitting down with, like, some dumb fucking rubes from Alberta who are, like, the separatist figureheads.
This is such a buffoonish, embarrassing, first of all, leak, and also situation for the CIA. This is like The Hudson's Bay of Pigs.
Yeah. Episode title.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's a good one, man.
The Bay of Poutine.
The
Hudson's Bay of Pigs is better.
Yeah.
Fucking so Shrey wanted me to point out that it does seem like they're actually trying to like stay on the DL, distance themselves from America shit for a little bit, which is kind of a shocker. But Danielle Smith is like continuing to back it. And she's always been like a hardline Trumpster. She was at the inauguration stuff. She's always been heavy chilling with Trump. We're getting into like
This is genuinely like treason.
Yeah, we're getting into. I was thinking traitor because the wrong words coming to mind. We're getting into genuine treason territory here, which is pretty insane.
Like this is at the very least sedition.
Yeah, yeah. And it's blatant. Like it was blatantly obvious before, but they got caught with their fucking. I'm gonna butcher a phrase or something. Is it getting caught with your pants down?
Yes.
Is that it? That's the one? Okay,
yes,
good.
Spencer, that's a very common phrase. How do you not know that?
But because every time I say a phrase, I say it wrong. You make
Spencer has been taught the wrong phrase by his family in every situation.
This is what happens when you're part of the petty bourgeoisie. You just have your own language to describe things.
I still frequently think about the time I just said you have to thread the knife's edge, and I didn't think about it for a second, and Liam just lost his shit.
That's just a mixed metaphor, man.
Yeah.
There's the update on Alberta separationism, and now we're on to something that we should talk about when Nana's here, but we might have to do without.
Yeah.
The Eglinton Crosstown.
It opened February 8th.
Liam, this is your story, I think.
Yes,
2026.
I was
50 years after initial proposal.
So, the crosstown in its current form was not the initial proposal. The initial proposal was actually a subway underneath Eglinton West.
Which is even worse.
50 years ago. And it started construction under every Tory parent's favorite premier in Ontario, Bob Rae.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Mike Harris gets elected and does his common sense revolution. And Mike Harris infamously fills in the in-progress tunnels that they're in the middle of digging for Eglinton West's subway with concrete.
Mm-hmm.
So that happens. It's dead. Then we have David Miller, who comes up with this idea. I think it was like the Transit City proposal, which is to build a bunch of different light rail networks or lines in the city of Toronto, two of which end up getting built. Finch West, which I've discussed before, has been a catastrophe.
I just want to do a specific phrasing. From two of them get built to two of them are not cancelled under Rob Ford.
Well, he tries to cancel them, and the city council votes to override
he fails to cancel these two.
Yes, so Finch West is built pretty much in exactly how it was originally intended to, as a service-running streetcar. Even though it's branded as Line 6 of the Toronto subway network, it is a streetcar. It is basically just like a Sinclair style streetcar along Finch West, and it's been an absolute disaster. In the first month of its operation, it had 350 service interruptions, and on February 8th, 2 days ago as of recording, the much awaited Line 5 Eglinton opened. This was one of the other Transit City projects under David Miller, and this was supposed to be the main one as well. So I think when it was first proposed, it was supposed to be surface running for its entire route, which for people who know the western part of Eglinton, it seemed a little strange because you're like, where the fuck are they going to run it? It's a very narrow street on the western part. So between fighting between the TTC, the Rob Ford mayorship, city council, and the province, end up being half the line being buried. Originally, like one of the original revisions was they wanted to bury it all, which I think in hindsight was probably the best idea.
Yeah. Like the mic does pick up the...
Sorry, there's actually some crazy breaking news.
Okay.
That I'm reading right now.
Okay.
The recording never ends.
We're not going to cover it. I'll talk about it when we start.
So we get to the construction. We start construction in 2011 with the TTC spearheading construction, and then in 2012 it gets taken off their hands and uploaded to Metrolinx, who then oversee the rest of construction. But the building itself is done through a public-private partnership model, and this consortium called Crosslinks is in charge of building it.
This was Doug Ford, or, well,
wrong.
wrong Ford for a second.
So
the idea that the province would be much faster and much cheaper.
Kinda, yeah. So it was originally supposed to slated to open 2020, but internal documents even early in the process showed it would probably be open by 2022 at the earliest. Fast forward to last Sunday, it opened. I was there with a friend and listener of the show. You know who you are. This is really weird, but I really got into public transit by learning about the crosstown when I was an undergrad. And I'm like, oh, wow, this will be like so good for Toronto. I can't wait till it opens. So 8 years later, I finally got to ride it. Very sad that I didn't get to ride the first train west because there was already a massive line when I was there, despite the fact it was -20 and the station was not heated.
Well, people came from all over the world, including China.
Apparently, yeah.
Well, if you're living in
that's
China,
like some like dedicated transit autism.
Yeah. What do you want to see? Like, this is what life is. This is how bad things really are in the
You
West.
live in China. You have like 30 lines in your city.
I hate to say it.
Mhm.
We were under British domination for what, like 400 years? No crosstown. American domination for 75 years? No crosstown. Under China for 1 month. Crosstown complete.
We already have 2 new fully featured automated subway lines in this beautiful city.
We only have one part of one. Yeah.
So not automated, not subway lines.
Okay, so I rode it. It was overall a pretty good experience. Because of the disaster of Line 6, I was kind of nervous about riding Line 5 because I was like, oh my God, is this going to be such a shit show? I got on the second train that departed from the western terminus at Mount Dennis, and I rode the whole line from Mount Dennis to Kennedy, which was the full 19-kilometer length. It took me and my friend about an hour and 1 minute to go the whole length of the line, which I'd say is pretty respectable. I have a few notes. Since it's light rail, the trains, if you've ever been on a Toronto streetcar, almost the exact same model. So it's like kind of narrow, a little weird, a little funky. That's part of the reason it'll probably cause some problems later, in my opinion, in terms of like too much people, not enough room for people. The sections where it runs fully underground away from the street, very fast. I went from, I guess, the western end of it to Eglinton station in about 28 minutes, and we finished driving in the underground section at about the 32-minute mark. So that was pretty fast, and that was actually most of the length of the line in 32 minutes. The rest of it is mostly above ground, except for where it dips under for like 1 or 2 underground stations in the east. That's all at surface level in a separated median in the street. The one thing is that for opening this line, there's only like what is called transit signal priority. There's only partial use of that. And that's just basically through the use of computers and cameras. When a train is approaching a stoplight, the stoplight will switch over to green to allow the train to go through. It's only partially implemented for the crosstown. And it was only partially implemented because transit signal priority was a conscious decision of the city council to not be the thing. And so it not being a thing led to part of why the Line 6 Fitch was such a disaster. So when I was on my ride on Eglinton, there was quite a few times where we were stuck at red lights. Specifically, the first time we got really kind of stuck behind a red light was approaching Sloane Station. And we were sitting at the red light for like 3 minutes, including for a left turn for cars. And a grand total of 3 cars did a left turn, getting priority over a train of like probably like 150 people on it.
Fuck that city councilor, by the way.
So we know the good news is that we are getting transit signal priority in full, probably at around May, which is still like it should have been in place from the get-go. But the fact that we're getting it at all is like at least some small miracle. And then the other weird thing is that this was from a time where we're like Anglo politicians were really like jerking off over like light rail. So they basically decided to, in the eastern end of Toronto, treat this as like an actual streetcar that functioned almost like a local bus service at times, because there is So there's two examples I'm about to give here. There's one pair of set of stations. There's the station Hakimi Leibovik, and then the station Golden Mile. They're right beside each other. They're 100 meters apart. They're 100 meters apart. And the way that they built these surface level crosstown stops is that the platform is on the far end of the intersection from the train's approach. So if you look on Google Maps, there's functionally an almost continuous line of platform from the end of the Hakimi Leibovik station to the end of the Golden Mile station. Because it's literally like 100 meters apart. They did not need to have one of those stops. They could have just not built that. But it was probably some sort of real estate thing.
Isn't there like a business owner who's connected to one of these stations that's a Ford donor?
So I don't know, but specifically the station Hakimi Leibovik is named after two business owners. Hakimi after the guy who owns Toronto area glasses retailer Hakim Optical, and Leibovik is named after like I guess some like local real estate guy or local business owner.
Yeah.
So and they also both have streets named after them that intersect at this Hakimi Leibovik station. And then Golden Mile is also in like a real estate area. So I think it was Golden Mile or Hakimi Leibovik got put there because like local like some real estate developers were like you should put it here to increase real estate values.
Yeah. It also could be that like two spots that like that whole section was slated for more development, and then it just kind of like all got shoved into there's more development right beside it. I know it's not like that easy a decision to make, but if they're advocating for something, I feel like it's probably easier to get one more stop if something is slated for development, and then the pressure kind of comes out. I don't know. I
mean, okay, so it just seemed like there is kind of like intent from the city to kind of like densify that part of Scarborough along the crosstown, especially in this like Golden Mile area because there's a lot of retail there. But the other set of stations that are really close together are like the stations of Birchmount and Ionview, and those two are like, well, Birchmount, Ionview, and Kennedy. Kennedy is the eastern terminus and intersects with Kennedy Station on Line 2, forming an interchange. So Birchmount or Ionview, they're also very close together. I don't know exactly, but if I had to guess, it would be less than 250 meters.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the thing.
And also Ionview, which is immediately east of Birchmount, is also probably less than 250 meters from Kennedy Station. So I would say they should, for some dumb reason, they built Ionview. They shouldn't have built Ionview because it's just another stop that just kind of slows things down when it's already very close to two other stops.
I will say, I think we'll wrap up the crosstown with this. Any and all delays in irrational construction could be chalked up to Doug Ford's buddies needing to make money off it. Doug Ford's commentary on the crosstown's final construction was, let's just not look into why it took so long.
Yes, so a lot of people are very frustrated with the process, and while the crosstown did have a very good opening first day, and a lot of people were very happy with it and cautiously optimistic, Doug Ford has refused to do any sort of inquiry into the delays in construction. And I will say that even though this was started under the Kathleen Wynne or the Dalton McGuinty administration 2 premiers ago, the Ford government has now at this point been overseeing half the construction process for this. Mm-hmm. And at this point, there's probably something equally embarrassing for his government involved in this. I don't even know if it's any sort of corruption thing. It's just there probably was some insane levels of mismanagement on Metrolinx's part, despite the fact that because Metrolinx is a provincial agency, it reflects poorly on the government. And I think that they don't want to do an inquiry because it will make the government look bad. And I also think that there is probably some sort of non-disclosure clauses written into the contracts between Metrolinx and the Crosslinx, the consortium who built it. So there's that to consider too. It's just,
I'm sure Doug Ford. Listen, all I'll say is I'm sure Doug Ford made a lot of money off this.
I did enjoy how he said, "Well, folks, we all know what went wrong here." Doug,
no,
you turned the news off. We don't know what happened here. We very explicitly were not allowed to know. Birdcheck.
Can't even tell.
It's something, that's for sure.
Something that's
That's what I'm saying.
I think we should end the episode with this quote.
Tufted titmouse. Tufted titmouse.
Well, I'll end the episode with this quote. Doug Ford was premier gooning when a group of Foids came up and spiked his cortisol levels. Is ignoring the Foids while munting and mogging folks more useful than SMV Chad fishing in this province?
Oh my god.
Question of the century, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Just to bring it full circle,
Yeah.
I'm glad that the crosstown's finally open. It was nice to ride, and this will definitely be a marked improvement for transit in Toronto, unlike Finch West.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I think I'll say the same. It seems that the Eglinton Crosstown was not nearly the failure that I was expecting it to be, thankfully.
Thank God. Holy fuck.
Because
something can go right in this stupid Chud City.
Yeah. And I'm incredibly glad about that. I will dox myself in saying that I live very close to the Eglinton Crosstown. And unfortunately, it would appear that the bus that comes near my place and goes to different stations beats the Eglinton Crosstown at all times except peak rush hour. So despite living right next to the Eglinton Crosstown, it appears that I may almost never take a ride on it.
That's unfortunate. Why don't we leave it there? Thank you, everyone, for listening to this long episode. Edward, make it one episode, please. That's my request.
Edward, make it 3 episodes.
We get -3 views publishing a 2-hour video.
3 episodes, please.
Okay.
You can figure that out.
Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.